Hello, and welcome back to English in Fluency. I'm your host, Alex, and it's wonderful to have you here with me today. Hello and welcome, my dear listeners, to another episode of English in Fluency. I'm your host, Alex, and I am so genuinely happy that you are here with me today. Thank you for deciding to join me. Maybe you are sitting by a window, watching the world go by as the afternoon light begins to soften into a warm, gentle gold. Perhaps you are on your daily walk, with headphones creating a private, peaceful world just for you. The rhythm of your footsteps, a steady, grounding beat against the pavement. A simple meditation in motion. Or maybe you are finally unwinding after a long and demanding day, seeking a moment of calm and gentle reflection, a chance to simply breathe and let the weight of the world fall from your shoulders. Wherever you find yourself, I want you to know that your presence here is felt, it is valued, and it is deeply, deeply appreciated. I want to start by acknowledging you, not just as a listener tuning into a podcast, but as a person on a remarkable and often challenging journey of growth. I know that the path of learning a new language, of dedicated self-improvement, is not always a straight or easy one. It's a path filled with countless quiet moments of hard work that no one else sees. Those extra 10 or 15 minutes you spend reviewing vocabulary when you are already tired and your mind feels full and heavy. Those moments of deep, internal frustration when the words just won't come and you feel like you're hitting an invisible, frustrating wall. And those countless small moments of quiet courage when you push yourself gently to try one more time, to speak one more sentence, to listen to one more story. So, before we go any further, I want to sincerely, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for the time you are offering, which is the most valuable and non-renewable resource you have. But more than that, thank you for the silent, unseen effort you put in every single day. Thank you for your incredible patience with the process, for your resilience when you feel like giving up, and most importantly, thank you for believing, even just a little, in the possibility of a better, more expanded future for yourself. You are part of a special global community of dreamers and doers, of quiet warriors of self-growth, and I am truly honored to be a small, encouraging voice on your journey. From the bottom of my heart, I see you. I recognize your dedication, and I am incredibly proud of you for showing up today. Today, we are going to explore something that is, I believe, one of the most important secrets to not only learning English, but to living a happy, meaningful, and fulfilling life. It's an idea that is so simple on the surface, yet profoundly powerful and life-changing when you truly embrace it. Think for a moment about a sculptor creating a magnificent statue from a large, shapeless block of stone. The final, beautiful, and detailed sculpture is not revealed in one single dramatic strike of the hammer. It is revealed through thousands upon thousands of tiny, precise, and seemingly insignificant taps. Each tap of the chisel removes just a tiny speck of stone, a little cloud of dust. One tap alone seems to do absolutely nothing. You can't even see the difference. But the accumulation of all those small, intentional, and patient taps is what slowly, gradually reveals the masterpiece that was hidden within the stone all along. This is the idea we will explore today. We will call it the power in progress. It's the fundamental truth that real, lasting strength and skill don't come from a sudden burst of genius or from being perfect from the very start. They come from the small, consistent, and often invisible steps we take every single day. It comes from the courage to simply try, the humility to learn from our mistakes, and the unwavering persistence to keep tapping away with our own chisel, especially on the days when we feel tired, uninspired, or when we can't yet see the form of the statue. This episode is a celebration of every small tap, every small step, every quiet moment of effort. It's a heartfelt reminder that you don't need to be the best overnight. You just need to keep going. In this episode, we will dive deep into the heart of personal growth. But we won't be talking about the unrealistic overnight transformations you might see in movies or on social media. We are going to honor and celebrate the slow, the quiet, the sometimes messy and uncomfortable, and the truly beautiful growth that happens when you are patient and compassionate with yourself. This kind of growth is what happens when you decide to learn one new word, even when your mind feels tired and full. When you listen to 5 more minutes of a podcast, even when you are tempted to quit and do something easier. When you dare to speak, even if you are afraid of making a mistake and feeling embarrassed. No matter what your specific goal is right now, whether it's mastering the complexities of English grammar, building a healthier and stronger body, learning a new instrument, or becoming a more confident and peaceful person, the engine that drives all real and lasting change is progress. Even one tiny step forward is a monumental victory that deserves to be acknowledged. This episode is designed to be a companion for you on your path, a friendly, supportive voice to help you see your own efforts in a new and more compassionate light, to help you understand that your work is never, ever wasted, and to help you feel the incredible quiet power that you are building within yourself, one small, consistent action at a time. I want to warmly invite you to make this more than just a passive listening experience. If you feel comfortable and you're in a place where you can do so, I encourage you to speak along with me. This wonderful and effective practice is called shadowing. Think of it as your voice learning to dance with the English language, finding its rhythm and flow. As you repeat the words and sentences, you are not just practicing pronunciation. You are teaching the muscles in your mouth, your tongue and your jaw the physical shapes of the words. You are teaching your brain the natural melody and intonation of the sentences. You are building a deep, physical, and intuitive connection to the language that goes beyond just knowing the rules from a book. Please don't worry for a single second about being perfect. That is not the goal here. The goal is simply to participate, to try, to feel the words in your mouth, to let them flow through you, even if it feels a little strange at first. This podcast is a safe space. There is no judgment here, only encouragement and support. It's not just about what you are listening to, it's about what you are doing. It's about you taking an active, powerful role in your own learning, and in doing so, feeling more connected to English, and more connected to your own incredible potential. So, please remember that this podcast is made especially for you, a dedicated and valued English learner. I will always speak clearly and at a slow, gentle, and deliberate pace. I will use simple words and easy-to-understand sentences. My greatest wish is for you to enjoy this process, to feel relaxed, supported, and genuinely inspired. I want you to leave this episode feeling stronger, more motivated, and filled with a quiet, confident, and unshakable sense of hope. So, are you ready to explore your own power? Are you ready to fall in love with the process of your own growth? Then, let's begin. Let's take this beautiful journey together. One word, one idea, and one small, powerful step at a time. So let's start with that very important word, progress. What does this word, progress, really mean in our daily lives? At its core, progress is simply the act of moving forward. It means that you are not staying in the exact same place you were yesterday, or last week, or last year. You are taking steps, whether they are tiny, hesitant baby steps, or bold, confident strides, to grow, to learn, and to become a little bit better, a little bit wiser, a little bit stronger than you were before. Progress does not mean being perfect. It's so critically important to understand this deep in your heart, to let this truth sink in. It does not mean you have to win every time, get a perfect score, or be the best in the room. It simply means that you are trying. You are doing something. You are learning something. You are making a conscious, intentional effort to improve yourself. Sometimes, we fall into the trap of thinking that progress has to be something huge, dramatic, and worthy of applause from others. We believe that we need to achieve something amazing and spectacular to have the right to feel proud of ourselves. But that idea is a myth, a story that holds us back, and it's not true. More often than not, real, sustainable progress is small, very small. And sometimes it's so subtle that it's almost invisible to others, and even to ourselves if we are not paying attention. And that is perfectly, wonderfully okay. In fact, it is these small, consistent steps of progress that act like threads, weaving together over time to create the strong, beautiful, and resilient fabric of lasting success. Let me give you a simple example to illustrate this. Imagine you are learning English. Today, you learn just one new word. Perhaps the word is courage. You don't just learn its definition from a dictionary. You learn how to pronounce it, feeling the shape of the word in your mouth. You listen to how native speakers say it. You learn how to use it in a sentence. Maybe you even write it down in a journal and think about a time you were courageous. That's progress. It may not feel like a giant leap, but your vocabulary, your personal universe of words, is now bigger than it was yesterday. You have expanded your knowledge and your ability to express yourself. That is a small, but very real and significant win. Progress can also mean waking up just 5 minutes earlier than you did last week, giving yourself a few precious moments of quiet before the day begins to rush in. It can mean choosing to drink one extra glass of water today, a small but profound act of kindness to your body. It can mean having the internal strength to say no to something that is not good for your well-being, even if it disappoints someone else. It can be the simple choice of listening to this podcast right now instead of getting lost in the endless, mindless scroll of social media. All of these are small actions, but they are incredibly powerful. Why? Because they all show that you are moving forward. You are making a conscious choice. You are making an effort. You are taking responsibility for your own growth. And that is what truly, deeply matters. Sometimes, we don't see our own progress because it happens so slowly, so gradually, like a clock's hands moving. It doesn't happen in one day or even 1 week. It's like watching a mountain being formed. You don't see the movement, but over millennia, it rises majestically. But if you take a moment to pause, to breathe, and to look back over a few months or a year, you will likely be surprised, even shocked, to see how far you have come. Maybe a year ago, you couldn't understand any English podcasts. The words were a fast, confusing blur, a wall of sound. And now, you are here, listening to this, learning, and understanding more and more with each passing day. That is real, beautiful, tangible progress. So many people give up on their dreams because they convince themselves that their progress is not enough. They fall into the painful trap of comparison. They look at others and feel they are moving too slowly, or that they are not smart enough, or that they haven't achieved a big, visible success yet. But I want you to remember this. Even a very slow journey is still a journey. Even the smallest steps, taken consistently day after day, will eventually take you to the top of the highest mountain. The only true way to fail is to stop trying completely. As long as you are moving forward, no matter the speed, you are winning. You are growing. You are making progress. Let me share another simple, relatable example. Think of a small child learning how to walk. The baby tries to stand up and falls down many, many times. But each time, they try again. They pull themselves up on the furniture, their little legs shaken with effort. They might take one wobbly, uncertain step, and then they fall again with a soft bump. But slowly, with each and every attempt, they get a little stronger. Their muscles get a little more coordinated, their sense of balance improves. Soon they are walking, and then, before you know it, they are running with joy and freedom. No one looks at that baby and says, "You are too slow," or "You fall too much, you should just give up." Of course not. We all cheer for the baby. We clap, we smile, we encourage them, because we intuitively understand that learning a new, complex skill takes time, patience, and many, many attempts. In the very same way, you must learn to cheer for yourself. You must become your own greatest supporter, your own kindest coach. Be kind and patient with yourself. You are learning. You are growing. You are making progress. It is okay if you fall sometimes. Progress is also deeply personal. This means that your progress will look very different from someone else's progress. And that is completely, wonderfully okay. You do not need to compare your journey to anyone else's. Their path is not your path. What truly matters is that you are a little better than the person you were yesterday. What matters is that you are trying, learning, and showing up for yourself every day, especially on the days when it feels hard and you don't feel like it. That is the real, powerful meaning of progress. Think of your mind as a beautiful, fertile garden. Every time you learn something new, like a new word, a new idea, or a new skill, you are planting a tiny, precious seed in that garden. Every time you practice, even if your practice feels clumsy and imperfect, you are watering that seed. You are giving it the sunlight and nourishment it needs to grow. Over time, that tiny seed sprouts and becomes a small, delicate plant. And if you continue to care for it, to water it with your effort, one day it will grow into a strong, magnificent tree with deep, unshakable roots. That is exactly how progress works. It starts very small, almost invisibly, beneath the surface. But if you keep going, if you keep watering your seeds with consistent effort, it becomes something strong, beautiful, resilient, and lasting. So, the next time you think to yourself, "I'm not good enough," or I'm not making any progress. I want you to pause, take a slow, deep breath, and think again. Did you learn one new thing today? That's progress. Did you listen to this entire podcast episode without quitting? That's progress. Did you choose to believe in yourself, even just for a fleeting moment? That is powerful, profound progress. I encourage you, with all my heart, to celebrate those small steps. They matter so much more than you think. One small, intentional step you take today can lead to a huge, wonderful, and life-changing transformation in your tomorrow. And the most important part of it all is that you are moving forward. You are growing. And that means you are already on the path to success. Let's talk now about why this simple act of progress is so incredibly powerful. We've already discussed what progress means. It's about moving forward. Now, let's explore what it does to you on the inside. Inside your heart, inside your mind, and even inside your soul. Progress is not just about learning new information or acquiring new skills. It's also about becoming a stronger, braver, and more confident person with every single step you take. Even the smallest amount of progress can create massive positive change over time. One of the most powerful things about making progress is how it builds your self-confidence. When you take a step forward, even a tiny one, you begin to believe in yourself a little more. It's like a small vote of confidence you give to yourself. You start to think, hey, maybe I can do this. Maybe you gather all your courage and try to speak a little English with a stranger. Even if you make a mistake, even if your sentence is not perfect, you realize that nothing terrible happened. The world didn't end. You survived. You spoke. You tried. That one small success, that one moment of bravery, gives you the confidence to try again. And then again. Every time you move forward, even just an inch, your belief in yourself grows. You begin to trust your own abilities more. You feel stronger from the inside out. And that kind of deep, internal strength is something that stays with you forever. Progress also makes you emotionally strong. When you are working consistently toward a goal, you are not just changing things in the outside world. You are fundamentally changing yourself. You are becoming a more patient person because you understand that good things take time. You are becoming more focused and disciplined because you are training your mind to concentrate on what is important. You are cultivating a more positive and optimistic outlook on life because you are proving to yourself that you can improve. These are not qualities that you can buy in a store or achieve overnight. These are deep character traits that you build slowly, with time and consistent, dedicated effort. Each small action you take, each time you decide not to give up when you feel frustrated, you are growing on the inside. And that is where real, unshakable strength comes from. Many people mistakenly believe that they need to be perfect to be strong. But that is simply not true. The act of trying is far more important and powerful than the act of being perfect. Perfection is an illusion. It's a destination that doesn't exist. Nobody is perfect. Every single person on this planet makes mistakes. Everyone fails sometimes. But the people who become truly strong are the ones who keep trying. They don't let their failures define them or stop them. They learn from their mistakes. They get back up, dust themselves off, and they move forward. That persistence, that resilience, that's what gives them their quiet, unstoppable power. Think about this for a moment. When you try something new, like learning a new phrase in English, you are actively training your brain. You are giving it new information and asking it to create new neural connections. And when you keep trying, when you practice that phrase over and over again, your brain becomes better and more efficient at learning. It's just like a muscle in your body. If you want to make your arm stronger, you lift a weight. The first time, it might feel very difficult, but if you do it every day, the muscle gets stronger. In the very same way, your brain gets smarter and more capable with consistent mental effort. This is why even the smallest efforts help us to grow. Learning one new word a day might not seem like much, but after 1 month, you will have learned 30 new words. After a year, that could be over 350 new words. This is how small, consistent progress accumulates and turns into real, tangible power. It happens one step at a time, one day at a time. And remember, progress gives you something else that is incredibly important. It gives you hope. When you see yourself moving forward, even slowly, you start to believe in a better and brighter future. You begin to think, maybe I can achieve more. Maybe I can become the person I truly want to be. Hope is an extremely powerful emotion. It is the fuel that keeps you going during difficult times. It helps you stay strong even when you feel tired or discouraged. And progress gives you that hope because it provides real, tangible evidence that change is possible and that you are capable of changing and growing. Let's take another simple example. Imagine a person who wants to become healthier and more fit. They don't go to the gym one single time and suddenly become strong. Of course not. They go regularly, consistently. Maybe at first, they can only walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes before they feel completely exhausted. But after a week of consistent effort, they can walk for 15 minutes, then 20. Slowly, gradually, they begin to feel better. Their body becomes stronger. They feel proud of their discipline. They feel more alive and energetic. That wonderful feeling comes directly from their progress. It doesn't come from being perfect, but from the simple, powerful act of showing up and trying, day after day. In the very same way, when you listen to English podcasts or read books or practice speaking with other people, you may not feel perfect. You might even feel nervous or awkward at first. But every single time you try, you grow. And over time, you will become more confident. Your fear will become smaller, and your courage will become bigger. You don't need to be perfect to feel proud of yourself. You just need to keep trying, again and again. So if you ever feel like your progress is too slow or not good enough, I want you to remember this powerful truth. Progress is power. It builds your confidence. It makes you emotionally stronger. It shows you what is possible when you refuse to give up. It teaches you that every small effort matters. It reminds you that you are not stuck. You are growing, you are learning, and you are becoming better every single day. Trying is not just an action, it is a decision. It is a choice. And every time you choose to try, you are choosing power. You are choosing growth. You are choosing to believe in yourself. And that simple choice, made consistently over time, can absolutely change your life. So, keep going. Keep learning. Keep growing. Because real power doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from making progress. One small, brave step at a time. Let's now talk about something very important and very real. And that is this truth. Personal growth takes time. It is not something that happens quickly. It is not like flipping a switch and instantly changing. Growth is a slow, gradual, and often unpredictable process, and sometimes you cannot even see it happening at first. But it is always happening, deep beneath the surface, as long as you keep trying. You must learn to be patient with yourself, just as you would be patient with a person you love deeply. Think for a moment about how a plant grows. You don't put a seed in the ground and expect it to become a giant tree in one day. That's simply not how nature works. First, you carefully plant the seed in good, fertile soil. Then, you water it. You make sure it gets sunlight. And then, you wait. You take care of it every day, with patience and trust. You don't see anything happening on the surface for a few days, maybe even for a few weeks. But under the ground, hidden from your eyes, something magical and powerful is happening. The roots are slowly growing downwards, creating a strong and stable foundation. The seed is opening up, breaking apart to release the life inside. And then, finally, after all that silent, invisible work, a tiny green leaf pushes its way through the soil. This is how growth begins, quietly, slowly, and almost invisibly at first. The same is true for you. You are like that seed. When you make the decision to learn something new, like English, or when you decide you want to improve yourself in some way, you are planting a seed in the garden of your mind. You may not see big, dramatic results in the beginning. You may feel like nothing is changing. But please, don't give up. Keep showing up. Keep learning. Keep practicing. Your roots are growing. You are becoming stronger on the inside, even if you can't see it yet on the outside. So many people stop their journey because they want fast results. They expect to speak perfect, fluent English in just 1 month, or they want to completely change their life in just a few days. But life doesn't work that way. Growth is not a race. Real, meaningful, and lasting change takes time. Think again about how long it takes for a baby to learn how to walk. It takes months and months of trying, falling, standing up, and trying again. No one expects the baby to walk perfectly right away. We celebrate every small attempt, every shaky step. You must learn to celebrate your own steps, too, especially the small ones. It's also incredibly important to remember that it is okay to fail. Failure is not the end of your story. Failure is a natural and necessary part of growth. When you fail, you learn something important. You understand what went wrong. You become stronger. You become wiser. In fact, many of the most successful and admired people in the world have failed many, many times. But they didn't stop. They viewed their failures not as defeats, but as valuable lessons. They learned, they adapted, and they tried again. That is why they grew. If you try to speak English and you make a mistake, that is okay. That is how you learn. Every single mistake is a teacher in disguise. Every mistake gives you a valuable opportunity to grow. What is not okay is giving up completely. Because when you give up, your growth stops. But when you try again, even after falling, you keep moving forward. You are still growing. Another important thing to remember is that everyone's journey of growth is different. Some people learn very quickly, while others learn more slowly. Some people grow quickly in one area of their life, while growing more slowly in another. You do not have to compare yourself to anyone else. Your journey is your own unique, beautiful, and sacred story. Your timing is your own, and your growth will come as long as you remain patient and consistent with your efforts. Let's go back to the example of the tree. Some trees, like bamboo, grow very fast. Other trees, like the oak tree, grow very, very slowly. But both can eventually become strong and beautiful. The speed of their growth does not matter in the end. What matters is that they keep growing, day by day, season by season. The same is true for you. Your growth may feel slow, but it is real. And one day, you will look back and be amazed at how far you have come. You will see the beautiful, strong tree you have become. So my message to you today is this: be patient with yourself. Trust the process of growth. Keep watering your mind with good thoughts, new words, and small, consistent efforts. Keep trying, even when it feels hard. Keep going, even if you don't see quick results. Because every single day that you try, you are growing. Every small action you take matters. And over time, all of these small actions will combine to create big, wonderful, and lasting change. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be on your own personal journey. Just keep going. Trust your journey. Believe in your future. Personal growth takes time, but it is always, always worth it. Now, let's talk about something that many people are afraid of: mistakes. But here is the truth that I want you to embrace. Mistakes are not bad. Mistakes are not something you should feel ashamed of. In fact, mistakes are one of the most powerful and effective tools for learning. Every single time you make a mistake, you are getting a little bit better. You are learning something new. You are moving forward. You are growing. Many people feel scared or embarrassed when they make a mistake. They think to themselves, "I failed," or "I'm just not good enough at this." But that kind of thinking is not true, and it's not helpful. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a part of the journey to success. You cannot grow without making mistakes. You cannot improve without falling down sometimes. Just like you cannot learn to ride a bicycle without falling off a few times, you cannot learn English or any other complex skill in life without making some errors along the way. Let me give you a very simple example. Imagine you are learning English grammar, and you want to say a sentence like, "She goes to school every day." But instead, you say, "She go to school every day." That is a grammatical mistake, but it is a very helpful one. Maybe a teacher or a friend gently corrects you. Or maybe you hear the correct sentence later in a podcast or a movie. Now, because of your mistake, you learn the rule. With the pronouns he, she, or it, we add ands to the verb. You say goes, not go. And you will likely remember that rule much better because you first made the mistake. In this way, your mistake became your teacher. It gave you a specific lesson. Mistakes show us exactly what we don't know yet. And that is a very good thing. When you can see your weak points, you can work on them. You can practice them. You can focus your energy on turning those weaknesses into strengths. Think of mistakes like a helpful mirror. They show you where you are right now in your learning journey, and they show you where you need to go next. The mistake is not the end of the road. It is the beginning of a deeper, better kind of learning. Let's also talk about your mindset. How you think about mistakes is very important. Some people make a mistake and feel very bad about it. They say negative things to themselves like, "I'm so stupid," or "I will never be good at this." But that kind of negative self-talk doesn't help you. It only makes you feel worse and less motivated to try again. Instead, we should try to have a different mindset. When we make a mistake, we should try to say, "Okay, I made a mistake. That's interesting. What can I learn from it?" This is called a growth mindset. It means you believe that you can improve your abilities through effort and learning. It means you believe in your own capacity to grow, even when things go wrong. Let me tell you a personal story. When I first started learning a new language, I was very afraid to speak. I didn't want to make any mistakes in front of other people. One day, I was in a bakery, and I wanted to say, "This bread is very soft." But I accidentally used the wrong word and said something that meant, "This bread is very sad." The baker looked very confused, and I felt so embarrassed. But later, I learned the correct word. And because the experience was so memorable, I have never forgotten the difference between those two words. That one small, embarrassing mistake taught me a lesson that stayed with me forever. And now, I can smile when I remember it. So you see, mistakes are not the end of your journey. They are like helpful signposts, showing you where to go next. They help you understand your path more clearly. They help you grow in ways that are deeper and stronger than just learning from a book. And the best part is, when you learn from a mistake, you usually remember that lesson for a much longer time. It becomes a part of your personal experience, not just a piece of knowledge in your head. Also, I want you to remember that everyone makes mistakes. Even native English speakers make mistakes sometimes. Even great writers and professional speakers make mistakes. It is normal. It is human. You do not have to be perfect. You just have to be willing to try. And when you make a mistake, just try to smile, learn from it, and move on. That is how real, authentic progress happens. So, the next time you say the wrong word, or forget a grammar rule, or don't understand something someone says, please don't feel bad about it. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself that this is a normal part of the process. This is a part of growing. This is not failure. This is learning. You are not going backward when you make a mistake. You are actually moving forward. And most importantly, try to celebrate your mistakes. Yes, celebrate them. Because they show that you are trying. They show that you are being brave. And they show that you care enough about your growth to step outside of your comfort zone. So keep making mistakes, keep learning from them, and keep growing stronger every single day. Now let's talk about something incredibly important, something that is truly the engine of all growth, and that is the simple idea that effort is the key. Yes, your effort, not your natural talent, not just good luck, not some quick success, but your simple, honest, consistent effort. When we try, when we work hard, when we give our best to something, that is when we grow. That is when we become stronger. That is when we move closer to our goals. Many people in our society believe that only the results matter. They think, if I don't win, then it wasn't worth it. Or, if I don't speak perfect English right now, then I'm not good enough. But this way of thinking is not helpful, and it's not true. The truth is, the most important part of your growth journey is not the final result. It is the effort you put in along the way. The results will come later, in their own time. But your effort is something that you can control right now, today, in this very moment. Think about this for a minute. You cannot always control how fast you learn something. You cannot control every outcome or result in your life. But you can always control your effort. You can choose to show up. You can choose to study for just 10 more minutes. You can choose to listen to this podcast. You can choose to try to speak, even when it feels hard. That choice, the choice to try, is what builds you. That choice is what shapes you. That choice is what makes you into a person with strong character. When we say that effort builds character, we mean that the act of trying changes who you are on the inside. When you work hard for something you care about, you become more patient. You learn to focus your mind. You become more confident in your ability to handle challenges. And most importantly, you become more resilient. Resilience means that you don't give up easily when things get tough. You become the kind of person who keeps going, even when life is not easy. Let's use an example to make this clearer. Imagine two people are learning to play the guitar. The first person, let's call him Ben, seems to have a natural talent. He learns chords very quickly. The second person, let's call her Clara, learns much more slowly. She has to practice a single chord for a long time before she can play it correctly. Ben, because things come easily to him, doesn't practice very much. Clara, however, practices for 30 minutes every single day, no matter what. At first, Ben looks more successful, but Clara is building something much stronger than just a skill. She is building discipline. She is building the habit of consistent effort. And in the long run, that habit of effort will lead her to real, lasting success, not just in playing the guitar, but in anything she chooses to do in life. Effort also teaches us to respect ourselves. When you know, deep in your heart, that you tried your best, you feel a sense of pride. Even if the result is not perfect, you know that you gave it your all. That feeling is incredibly powerful. It gives you energy. It builds your self-confidence. It helps you stand a little taller and say to yourself, "I didn't give up. I kept going." That is a feeling of self-respect that no one can ever take away from you. Now, let's be honest. There will be days when you feel tired. There will be times when you feel like stopping. You might think, "Why am I doing all of this? I'm not seeing fast results." And that is a completely normal feeling. Everyone feels that way sometimes, but those are the moments when your effort matters the most. Those are the moments that test your strength and your commitment. And if you can find the courage to keep going even when it's hard, that is when you grow the most. Let me share a simple story. There was a student who desperately wanted to improve his English speaking skills, but he was very shy. He was terrified of talking in front of other people because he was afraid of making mistakes. Still, every single day, he practiced speaking alone in his room. He would repeat words from a podcast. He would read a book out loud. He would record his own voice and listen to it. At first, it felt like nothing was changing. He still felt shy. But after 3 months of this consistent daily effort, he noticed a change. He could speak with a little more confidence. Not because he was suddenly perfect, but because he had put in the effort, day after day. And that effort had slowly but surely changed him. You see, effort is not always exciting or fun. It's not always fast. Sometimes effort feels boring and repetitive. But it is like planting a single seed in a garden every day. You may not see the plant grow immediately, but one day you will look back and see a beautiful, thriving garden. That garden is the direct result of your small daily efforts. So, I want to remind you today, please don't stop trying. Even if you don't see big results yet, keep going. Even if it feels hard, keep showing up for yourself. Your effort matters. It is never wasted. It is building your future. It is shaping the person you are becoming. You do not need to be the best. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to keep trying, again and again. Because that is what strong, successful people do. They try, they fail, they get back up, and they keep going. So, my friend, no matter where you are on your personal journey, whether you are just starting out or you have been learning for a long time, please remember this. Your effort is the key. Keep putting in the work. Keep believing in yourself. And never ever forget that every small step you take forward counts. Your future is being built right now, in this moment, by every effort you make today. Now that we had talked about the immense power of progress, the incredible value of your effort, and the importance of learning from your mistakes, let's talk about something very practical. How do you keep moving forward? Life is a long journey. Learning is a long journey. And sometimes on that journey, we can feel lost, or tired, or discouraged. That is why I want to share with you 5 simple, practical tips that can help you stay strong, stay focused, and keep growing, even when the road feels long and slow. The first tip is to set small, achievable goals. Big, ambitious goals can feel very exciting at first, but they can also feel too far away and intimidating. Sometimes, when a goal is too big, we feel scared or overwhelmed, and we don't even know where to start. That is why small goals are so helpful. They are much easier to reach, and they help you stay motivated along the way. For example, instead of having a huge goal like, "I want to speak fluent English," you can set a much smaller goal, like, "This week, I will learn 5 new vocabulary words." Or, a simple goal for today could be, "I will listen to 1 full podcast episode in English." When you achieve a small goal like this, you feel happy. You feel a sense of accomplishment. You feel proud of yourself. And that good feeling gives you the energy and motivation to move on to the next small goal. Over time, all of these small steps add up and lead to big, significant changes. The second tip is to try to learn 1 new thing every single day. Learning does not have to be a difficult or heavy task. It can be simple, and it can be fun. You can learn 1 new English word each day. You can learn a new sentence structure or a new grammar rule. Or, your learning can be about yourself. You can learn something new about your own habits, or about how you feel in certain situations. Every day presents a new opportunity to grow, even just a little bit. And when you learn something new, no matter how small, your brain becomes stronger and more active. You also get a wonderful sense of progress, and that gives you the energy to keep going. So, at the end of each day, you can ask yourself a simple question. What did I learn today? It could be something big or something very small. But if you learned something, even just 1 thing, it was a good day. The third tip is to celebrate your small wins. So many people forget to do this. They only focus on the big goal at the end, and they are always looking at what they haven't done yet. But this is a mistake. It is very important to notice and celebrate your small victories along the way. Did you finish listening to this full podcast episode in English today? That is a win. Celebrate it. Did you understand a conversation in a movie without needing subtitles? That is a win. Did you have the courage to speak English with someone, even for just 30 seconds, without feeling too scared? That is a huge win. Did you manage to study for just 10 minutes on a day when you were feeling really tired and unmotivated? That is a massive win. Celebrating your small wins helps you stay motivated. It reminds you that your effort is working. It shows you that you are moving forward. So, take a moment to pause and say to yourself, "Well done, me." Give yourself a smile. Be proud of your progress, no matter how small it seems. The fourth tip is to be kind to yourself. This one is so important. Sometimes, we are our own worst critics. We are too hard on ourselves. We say mean things in our own minds like, "I'm not good enough," or "I should be doing better." But these kinds of negative thoughts do not help you. They only make you feel small, weak, and tired. Instead, I want you to try to be gentle with yourself. Speak to yourself in the same way that you would speak to a good friend who is struggling. If your friend made a mistake, you wouldn't shout at them. You would say something kind and encouraging, like, "It's okay. You tried your best. Keep going. You can do it." You deserve that same kindness from yourself. Remember, you are learning. You are growing. And that process takes time and a lot of patience. Be kind to yourself, especially on the hard days, not just on the easy ones. And the fifth and final tip is this: do not compare your journey to others. In today's world, with social media, it is so easy to look at other people's lives and feel like they are doing much better than we are. Maybe you see someone who seems to speak English more fluently. Maybe they look more confident or more successful. But what you see on the outside is never the whole story. Everyone has their own private struggles. Everyone has their own unique timeline for growth. Your journey is special because it is yours. You do not have to be faster than anyone else. You just have to keep going at your own pace. Comparison is the thief of joy. It can steal your happiness and your motivation. But when you focus on your own path, your own effort, and your own progress, you will feel more free. You will feel more peaceful, and you will grow much better. So, let's quickly go over those 5 tips again. 1. Set small goals. 2. Learn one new thing every day. 3. Celebrate your small wins. 4. Be kind to yourself. And 5. Don't compare your journey to others. These tips are simple, but they are incredibly powerful. If you try to follow them every day, even just a little bit, you will feel stronger, more motivated, and more confident on your journey. Remember, moving forward doesn't mean you have to go fast. It simply means that you don't stop. It means showing up for yourself every day with a heart that is ready to learn and a mind that is open to growth. And you are already doing that right now, just by listening, by learning, and by caring about your own growth. You are doing so much better than you think. So please, take a deep breath, smile, and say to yourself, "I am moving forward. I am growing. And I am proud of my effort." Before we move to the end of our episode today, I want to take a quiet moment with you. Just you and me. Let's pause all the thinking and all the doing and just reflect together. You have been listening so patiently. You have been thinking about these ideas. You have been learning. And that is so important. So now, let's just slow down for a few minutes and look inside ourselves. Let me ask you a question. What is one small thing that you have learned recently? It doesn't have to be something big or academic. Maybe you learned a new, interesting word in English. Maybe you finally understood a grammar rule that was confusing to you before. Or maybe you learned something about yourself. Maybe you learned how strong you really are when things are difficult. Or maybe you learned how kind you can be to other people, even when you are feeling tired. Take a moment right now and really think about it. You might be surprised by what you discover. Learning is not just about books and exams. It is also about understanding yourself and your life more deeply. So, what did you learn? Even if it was something very small, acknowledge it. Now, here is another question for you. How have you changed in the last year? I want you to think back to where you were 12 months ago. What was your life like? Were you more afraid to speak English then? Were you more unsure of yourself? Were you perhaps feeling stuck in a routine or a little bit lost? And now, look at you today. You are here. You are actively listening to this podcast. You are working on improving your language skills, your mindset, and your personal growth. That is change. That is real progress, and it deserves to be noticed and appreciated. Sometimes we don't see how far we have come because we are always looking ahead at the next goal. We forget to look back and see the distance we have traveled. But when you stop for a moment and reflect, you can realize, wow, I have grown. I have improved. I am becoming someone stronger. Even if your steps have been very small, even if your journey has not been perfect, you are still moving forward. And that is something to be incredibly proud of. Maybe this year you started learning English again after giving up in the past. That is a huge victory. Maybe you made your very first friend who you speak to in English. Maybe you listened to your first full podcast episode without needing to look at the subtitles. Or maybe you simply found the courage to try again. And that alone is a big, beautiful win. I want you to know something very important. Every single step you take forward matters. No step is too small to count. No effort is ever wasted. Even on the days when you feel like you are not moving fast enough, you are still moving. And that is what truly matters. Progress is not a straight line. It's not always easy and uphill. Sometimes we move fast, and other times we slow down. Sometimes we even feel like we take a step backward. But that does not mean that we have failed. It just means that we are human. And being human means learning, falling, rising again, and continuing the journey. So, I want to encourage you with all my heart. Do not let self-doubt stop you. Do not let fear make your decisions for you. Do not let comparing yourself to others steal your confidence. Keep walking on your own unique path. Keep learning in your own way. Keep believing in your own growth. You have so much more strength inside of you than you know. You are capable of learning anything you set your mind to, growing through any challenge, and becoming someone that you will be deeply proud of. So, take that next step, no matter how small it feels, and take it with courage. And please, always remember this. You do not have to be perfect. You just have to keep going. Progress is not about the speed of your journey. It is about the direction. And if you are listening to this podcast right now, it means you are moving in the right direction. You are not just learning English. You are learning to believe in yourself. You are learning to show up for yourself. And that is a truly beautiful thing. So ask yourself again today, what did I learn? How have I grown? What am I proud of? And answer those questions with honesty and with love for yourself. Because you are doing so much better than you think. And now, my dear listeners, we have come to the end of today's episode of English in Fluency. I want to thank you, truly and sincerely, for spending this time with me today. Whether you were walking, working, relaxing on your sofa, or just taking a quiet break for yourself, I am so glad that you chose to listen. You made space in your busy day to learn, to grow, and to think. And that means something. That is how progress begins. Today, we talked about a simple but incredibly powerful truth, that progress brings power. When you keep learning, when you keep trying even when it's hard, when you give your best effort, you become stronger, you become wiser, you grow in ways that you may not even see at first. But over time, that slow, steady growth adds up. That growth turns into confidence. It turns into new skills. It turns into a better, more powerful version of you. Every time you make an effort to read something, to listen to something, to speak, to understand, you are planting a seed in the garden of your mind. And even if you don't see the results right away, you can trust that seed is growing. And one day, it will bloom into something beautiful. So, I want to leave you with this one simple encouragement. Keep learning, keep going, and never ever give up on yourself. There will be days when you feel stuck, or tired, or unsure. That is a normal part of any journey. But please, don't stop. You are on a path, and every single step you take, even the very small ones, is leading you somewhere better. You do not need to rush. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to stay in motion, learning from your mistakes, giving your best effort, and believing that your growth matters. Because it does. If today's message was helpful to you, I invite you to listen to it again whenever you need a little encouragement. Let these words be a reminder that you are not alone on this journey, and that your progress is important. If you know someone else who might need to hear these words, please share this episode with a friend, a classmate, or someone you care about. You never know who might need a little bit of hope today. And of course, I would love to have you back here for the next episode. There is always more to learn, more to discover, and more ways for us to grow together. Please be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss our next step on this journey. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind to yourself, and most of all, keep moving forward. You are doing better than you think. You are becoming someone amazing, and your journey is only just beginning.